So yeah, I guess tell us about Nevada being the first school to offer you, and maybe the kinship you had with the program because of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was my first offer, and Nigel Burton came down to St. John Bosco High School where I attended, and ended up coming up here for a quarterback camp when Coach Alt was the head coach. And you know, this place was always nice, and obviously holds a special spot in my heart, with it being my first scholarship offer.
Any consideration to coming to Nevada?
It was actually, and then I started picking up some other things and started getting some other traction, and I mean, had a good relationship with Steve Sarkisian, who was our head coach, and you know, he was obviously at USC, recruiting me at USC, and you know, kind of went up to the Pacific Northwest.
I guess what grade were you in when Nevada came after you?
So I was a junior. I was a junior in high school when Nevada first offered me. So going into my senior year was kind of when I came up here for the camp, and got to meet the coaching staff, and you know, Coach Mastro, and Coach Cam was coaching here, man. So it's like a full life circle.
You know, I guess when this opportunity then popped up to join Nevada as a wide receivers coach, what kind of went into your mind?
Oh, it was a no-brainer, man. It was a no-brainer. I seen that the position open, and I kind of reached out to Coach Chode, and you know, I didn't know if he was going to get back to me or not. Ended up reaching back out, and you know, came up here, and he offered me the job. So I'm super fortunate, and I think that this place, man, has a lot of room to grow. But this place has been special for years.
What do you hope to bring the coaching staff, the players you work with? I know a lot of people talk about your personality and your positivity and your relationships down in Southern California.
Yep. I mean, energy and confidence. You know, I think, you know, over the past season, you know, I think that's what the position group lacked, is just that confidence, right? I mean, we have some talented receivers that we brought in, and we have some talented receivers here. As I took over the job, it's about them getting to their full potential.
You know, you played quarterback, so I guess what's the transition to coaching wide receivers been like for you?
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome. I get to kind of bring a different perspective as far as, you know, quarterback timing, and how timing means so much, you know, to the quarterback, and quarterback expecting us to be in certain spots, and you know, progressions, and understanding, hey, I got a little time to work on this route. So it just brings a different perspective.
Is that something you wanted to coach, that position, or I guess how did you fall into?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I actually started off kind of working with the quarterbacks a little bit at Boise State, and then kind of transitioned to the wide receiver, to the assistant wide receivers coach, and I GA'd there for 2 years, and ended up learning the position. And I was always around, you know, good wide receivers, and you know, coaching wide receivers in the LA area, so it was something that was familiar to me.
How did you grow as a coach at Idaho State during your time there?
Oh, it was great. It was my first opportunity to run my own room, you know, and you know, at the time, Idaho State was kind of at the bottom of the Big Sky. And what we was able to accomplish over the past 3 seasons, you know, won 3 games, 5 games to 6 games, and kind of a fringe playoff team, man. I think we made tremendous strides, and you know, I got to build relationships, lifelong relationships, and it helped me become a better coach.
When Nevada football's been good, there's been a lot of LA area kids on this team. I can just describe your relationship with people back there.
Oh, yeah.
And what you hope to bring in terms of recruiting that area.
Absolutely. I'm actually surprised that we don't have more LA athletes here, you know, and I think that was another reason why Coach Cho brought me here, is because of my connections to that area. And even going back recruiting, they like, man, we haven't seen Nevada in here in years, right? And I think that's an area, that's a void that could be filled with me being here, is me having the connections, me being able to get out to those high schools and creating those genuine relationships, and obviously getting guys to come to Reno.
I mean, yeah, Romeo Dobbs was from down there, and he just signed a big NFL contract. I guess, how would you describe the talent down in that area, especially on the offensive skill positions?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think this is a hotbed for recruiting, you know. I know when I went to the University of Washington, we had a ton of guys from the LA area, and I mean, coaches, college coaches all around the country, you know, they see LA as, you know, one of the high school hotbeds when it comes to recruiting. And I think that's something that we need to probably do a better job of, is kind of touching those areas.
Looking at your group, you guys added 4 transfers. I guess what were you looking for specifically as this past game with the new offensive coordinator kind of becomes more of a focal point?
Absolutely. I mean, we went and got some 6'1", 6'2" receivers and Gary Givens, and so we got Gary Givens, right? We got Damien Morgan, we got Jason Doss. I mean, those guys bring speed, man, and I think that was the main thing, is getting some length and getting some speed at that position. But those guys are doing a good job picking up the offense, and these guys are playing fast.
And Marshaun's been here a while. He's a local kid. He's a big kid. He's a fast kid. What have you noticed about him, and what's going to be required for him to have that breakthrough that people kind of waiting for?
Really good hands, man. Really good hands. A solid route runner. Has enough twitch at the line of scrimmage. I think my job is to make him become an all-conference type player, because he is that caliber. And getting him to believe. I'm not sure if he had that belief. And it's a daily thing, right? And we're going to continue to build those bricks and stack those bricks. But I mean, he's off to a hot start, man. He's off to a really good spring, and he's attacking the football and using this frame as a weapon.
What do you guys need from the wide receivers this year to accomplish the overall team goals?
We need production. As you guys see, I went out and got a whole bunch of production. Guys that produced at whatever level it is. Like, I don't care if you could play football, you could play football. And I think that was the main thing, is getting guys with production, getting guys with speed, and now how do we make these guys all conference players? And that's the motto. Who's going to be that guy, right? Who's going to be the next Romeo Dobbs? And if we could have multiple guys, let that be. But I think we're off to a good track. Still got a long way to go. But I think these guys are believing.
You brought Damien with you from Idaho State. I guess what stood out about why you thought he could make that jump from FCS to FBS?
Well, I mean, every FBS team, you could turn the tape on. Every FBS team we played, UNLV, there were a couple balls that kind of sailed over his head that, he would have had over 100 yards that game. You look at the New Mexico game, but this guy is relentless with his work ethic. He's already stepped into a leadership role in our room, and he know what he wants. He's self-driven. I don't have to get on his butt. And he's one of those guys who's in my office drawing up plays, right, and bringing others along.
What most excites you about this opportunity for yourself individually to join this program and try and push it to a championship level?
Yeah, man, I think getting these wideouts playing at a very, very high level. I'm just doing our job, and I tell all these guys, man, do your job. All right, run your route, the ball will come, and I think they're doing that. And I think the standard is now going to be set to another level, and hey, like I told them today, man, we had a couple balls on the ground. That is, it's not the standard, right? And I cannot stamp my name on that, right? And they got to understand, we all got to understand, hey, man, the ball is the program, all right? And they don't understand it yet, but they will.
Do you know if Sark put a good word in for you when you applied for this job with his relationship with you?
Yeah, I'm sure he did, man. I've had a relationship with Choate before I took this job. I knew Choate for the last couple of years, and when he first took the job. But I know that when I first talked to him, I know Sark did kind of throw my name in there, which good looking out, Coach Sark.
You as a former quarterback, what stood out to you about wide receivers you like to play with? What gave you the trust in them to throw the ball their way and know that it's going to end up with a positive result?
Honestly, man, being at the right depths, right? And then ultimately making a play, right? Like, everybody look cute, right? Running these routes and TikTok routes or releases, but it's like, hey, catch the dang ball when the ball is thrown to you. And I was fortunate enough to play with a lot of really good receivers that actually that caught the ball, right? It made me look good. Like, hey, if the ball is thrown inside, like, having that trust, like, hey, man, it don't matter. Like, if I just put it in this guy's vicinity, he's going to attack the football and go make a play for it, not only for me, but for the team.
Just walk us through your path to getting here to Nevada.
So I actually went JUCO out of high school. I went to Servite, and then I went to a junior college up in Northern California. That's where my family's from. And then I did 3 years at Idaho State, and then now I'm here.
What does it mean to you to get up to the FBS level?
Man, it means a lot. I appreciate the opportunity. I appreciate the coaches, taking a shot on me. I'm just grateful to continue to build what's already here.
So you're from Northern California. You went to Servite just for football reasons?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what was that like? What was that decision-making process?
Man, it was different. I know I had to make sacrifices and leave my family and go stay with my uncle and stuff. I used to take the bus to and from school every day, about like 2 hours, man. So it was definitely a sacrifice in itself, but it was all worth it. Got to play the best competition, man, in California, so it was nice.
Yeah, would you describe the teams you were playing?
Yeah, so Mater Dei and St. John Bosco, them the two powerhouses that people know about. So.
Where are you from originally then in Sacramento?
I'm from Modesto, California.
Oh, Modesto,
yes,
okay.
sir.
Did you know about Nevada at all? I mean, growing up, I know they would recruit that area.
Yeah, of course. I knew all about Nevada. I knew about every California school. So I actually went to my first camp here when I was in high school. So
okay,
nice.
Who would have been the coach at that time? Was that like Norvell or Ken Wilson?
I'm not sure.
You were up here though.
Yeah, I was up here.
How'd you get up to Idaho State?
So out of junior college, they had offered me after I did my first semester, first fall ball there. So I went up there during the winter.
Was that Coach Price or someone else?
Yeah, Coach Price was there. He got there in the summer, but it was Coach Cody Hawkins.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
With Coach Price coming here, I guess how much familiarity or comfortability does that give you just knowing that you've worked with the guy?
Man, a lot. Me and Coach Price, KP, been through a lot together. So, man, I know what I'm going to get from him, and he knows what he's going to get from me. So.
Seems like he's got a good personality. I guess how would you describe how he kind of approaches leading a wide receiver room?
Yeah, he definitely brings the juice every single day, energy, focus, attention to detail. He's going to coach us hard, but it's all out of love. He just wants us to be the best versions of ourselves, and it's not even just about football, he wants to make sure that we're the best man, so when there's a problem off the field, he's going to make sure we get that in order, so.
He seems like a pretty fun-loving guy off the field. On the field, a little bit different in terms of how he approaches you guys?
Yeah, I mean, he definitely gets serious. He wants us to play to that standard. He always drills in our mind that we're going to be, the number one receiving corps in the conference. So, just having that mentality, we got to live up to that expectation.
Were you looking at other schools, or, was Nevada kind of top of your board coming out just because Coach Price was coming there?
Yeah, Nevada was definitely top of my board. I had other schools reaching out, but, I'm here now.
Well, what do you hope to bring the Wolfpack wide receiver corps that maybe it hasn't had the last couple of years?
Man, I'm just looking to add to the program that's already here. Coach Bartoloni, he runs a very explosive offense, dealt with a lot of NFL guys. So I'm just looking to be, a project of what he's already building.
What are your strengths? What would you say are the things you do best on the field?
I think my work ethic, work ethic, just how I could get open and what I could do without the ball in my hands, sorry about that, and, just running good routes.
You see yourself as a slot receiver? You like being outside? I guess do you have a preferred position?
Yes, sir. Slot, for sure. I love dealing with the teeth of the defense, know.
Do you have someone like you modeled your game after, or somebody you watched growing up that you really like?
Oh, yeah. Right now, my two top receivers is Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jackson Smith.
Okay.
So, love those guys.
You mentioned the offense. I guess how much of a draw was that, knowing that they were bringing in somebody who wants to throw the ball more, that's got some history in the air raid and the spread?
Yeah, that was definitely a factor in my decision. Passing the ball. That's how you're gonna get some receivers here. So.
Tell me about the other guys. You have the three newcomers. I guess those transfers. What have they kind of done that stood out in your eyes? Yeah,
so you got Champ. He always showing up, man. Hard worker, big, long, and he's always gonna work hard. Make sure he pay attention to detail. Donnie, that boy slider, he can move. I know he's gonna add to this offense. JC, he's a good player too. You know what I'm saying? He went to Fresno State, went to Townsend, knew him for a long time. Just because we played in the same conference, and he's a good player. So.
Going from the FCS to the FBS, I mean, how do you feel like you're gonna fit in?
I don't feel like it's that much of a difference. On our schedule, we always had FBS teams, and we always showed up. So I don't think it's going to be that much of a difference.
You work with the quarterbacks. There's a competition there. What are you seeing from that group of guys?
Yeah, I can see those guys competing every day. I know they're hard on themselves. But we're just installing the offense, and I see them executing at a high level already. So proud of those guys.
What are your guys' goals as an offense this season?
Man. to score the ball, at least 30 plus points per game, 41% on third downs, even more, maybe 100%. But yeah, just showing up, putting points on the board, playing complementary football. So.
How would you describe maybe the sacrifices you had to make just to get to this level, to play at the top level of college football?
A lot of sacrifices, definitely a lot. KP knows a lot of them. I got 2 children, I got a wife, so it's definitely a lot of sacrifices that go into that every single day. So I'm just grateful to be able to be here, and it's a blessing.
How has that kind of motivated you, just having a family and trying to support for them?
Yes, sir. Just showing up every day, doing the best that I can, because I know at the end of the day, if I don't show up, my family don't eat. So.
Boy, girl, or?
I got my oldest is my daughter. She's 2, about to turn 3, and then I got my son. He's 9 months, about to be 1.
Okay.
So.
What does that mean to you? How's that kind of giving you perspective in life?
Man, it's different. It definitely slowed me down. I'm appreciative. I feel like it built a lot of resilience and patience in me as well. So.
What has been your favorite thing about being a dad and having that responsibility?
Favorite thing about being a dad is, man, as soon as I come through those doors, I'm hearing daddy. I'm hearing I love you. So it's just nice to come to a home, where it's constant love regardless of performance or not. So.
How you balancing that, football, academics, how's that kind of worked out for you?
Man, it's tough, but, man, God been helping me get through it every day. So.
How's your family like moving to Northern Nevada and living in the Reno area the last couple months?
They love it. Yeah, especially compared to Idaho, it's a lot different. We're closer to California, closer to family, so it's a blessing.
Family looking forward to coming and watching you play. I'm sure they probably got up to Idaho State, but maybe a little bit easier getting to Nevada.
Yes, sir. They're actually coming up today, so I'm excited about that.
Awesome. I need to ask about the hair. Where did the inspiration for this hairdo come from?
Man, so we close to the Bay Area, so a lot of guys have dreads or tails, but I carried it with me since 2 years ago, and I feel like it's a part of me that kind of sticks out. So.
Seems like you bring a lot of joy to at least this conversation. I guess what kind of joy do you hope to bring to the football field, the team, the locker room, all that?
Man, I'm looking to lead by example. I'm looking to just always support my guys, and always show love to them, regardless if they being hard on themselves, I'm gonna make sure I'm picking them up, so.
So new position coach, tell us about Coach Price and what you've enjoyed working with him about.
Oh, I just like his energy that he brings to practice every day. He's real in tune with us and, getting us right and getting us, mentally prepared and physically prepared. So I like it a lot.
He talked a little bit about, getting the confidence in you that you could be an all-conference player. I guess what kind of work has gone into maybe, that self-belief that this could be the year for you?
Just putting in the work, preparation is where you build the most confidence at. That's where, I've been really grinding in that, having the mental side locked in as well too. So, being mentally prepared as well as physically prepared. So, yeah.
And you did have a couple big games toward the end of last year. I mean, how much did that help? Just, going into the offseason, knowing that you could do it?
Oh yeah, that helped a lot, just instilling more confidence in me and my game, just knowing that I could, make those plays and do what I need to do to get the job done.
New coordinator as well brings a new scheme that might be a little more passing friendly. I guess what was your reaction to Coach Barlow being hired?
Oh, I loved it. It was a real good addition to the team, and as a receiver, I love, passing the ball, so it's a big compliment as well.
What kind of work's gone into just trying to learn this offense, the terminology, the plays, all that kind of stuff?
Just, repetition, repetition with, learning the plays, writing the plays down, studying them, and, just repetition on the field, so yeah.
Added 4 transfers. I guess what can you tell us about that group, that quartet, what they're going to bring the Wolfpack?
I think they're going to bring, a lot. We got good guys like Damien and, Champ. Those 2 guys, help me a lot. Just with every practice, every day, instilling the confidence in me in that way. So they're going to play big for us as well.
As one of the veterans, I guess, how have you tried to welcome them into the group and maybe take a leadership role?
Just, welcome in everybody with open arms. If they got questions, I'm here to answer them. And I know if I have questions, they'll answer them as well. So, just inviting, having a big family.
New Mountain West, new schedule, new places you guys are visiting.
Yeah.
Is there maybe a little bit more belief in what you guys can do this year because of that?
Yeah, definitely. We have, a better schedule, I'll say. But every game, you never know what it's going to be. So we just have to fight hard every game, every practice, to get the outcome we want.
I know the last couple of years hasn't gone as you guys have wanted. I guess just taking us into the locker room and maybe what you guys are trying to do from like a belief standpoint entering this this year? I guess how would you describe that?
I'll just say like having discipline in the little things, like, you know, just keeping your locker room clean, your space in your locker clean, you know, just things like that, picking up trash, you know, just holding everybody accountable. I think stuff like that is going to help us in the long run.
What makes you most optimistic that this year will be different than the last few?
I just feel like the energy in practice is just different. You know, everybody believes in what they could do, and, you know, the coaches believe in what they can do as well. You know, today was actually the first day I've actually seen like coaches kind of go at it. So I was like, yeah, I feel like we got something here.
I think Coach Norcross might have been one of them.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of energy has he brought to the offensive side?
Oh yeah, a lot of energy every day. I don't know how he doesn't lose his voice every day, but he's always yelling. You know, he's getting the O-line guys right.
Yeah, both your tackles come back. Obviously, Carter Jones came back. All the running backs came back. I guess what were some of the talks this offseason in terms of not hitting the portal and trying to see this thing through?
You know, just believing in each other. You know, we see something in each other, and we see something in this program and this team. So, you know, just having that belief every day, you know, just trusting in each other, and, you know, we'll get the job done.